So good morning. My talk is about an educational issue, and I'm looking for mediators that explain the association between families' socio-economic backgrounds and their children's school achievement. I've done this study together with Ricarda and Felix Dinger. Equal opportunities and education these are two very closely connected issues. Education is a very important prerequisite for individual and societal prosperity. And prosperity does not only mean materialistic wealth, but it also means a just distribution of power to participate in societal developments and to have the means, to have the tools to achieve something in a society. So education is key to equal opportunities, and many societies monitor signs for inequality in educational outcomes. The large school assessment studies like PISA and TIMSS have their origins in the belief that education is important for those outcomes, and that we have to monitor the outcomes to see whether there are signs for an unjust distribution of chances in education and a dependency of educational outcomes on characteristics such as gender or ethnicity or socioeconomic background is often viewed as evidence for an unjust distribution of opportunities. And here is the question that I want to ask today. Is the association between family socioeconomic background and children's academic achievement really something that indicates unequal opportunities in education? Early meta-analysis on the topic showed that the strength of association between the two was about 0.25 to 0.29, and more recent international large-scale assessment showed a somewhat higher association. And interestingly, in Germany, this association is especially strong. This has something to do with early separation of children into stratified schools. And so in Germany, we are especially worried about this strong association, which might mean that the chances are especially unjustly distributed. The idea that we had in mind when we did our study here was that this association only indicates a violation of equal opportunities if it is not explained by characteristics that actually contribute to better achievement. If in families that have a higher socioeconomic background, there are characteristics that we know contribute to better achievement, like intelligence, then there is a good explanation for why these families have children that do better at school, and only if there is variance that is not explained by such factors and that we might attribute to the power of the parents to persuade the teacher to give a better mark or something like that, then we would consider this to be unjust. So the research question is, to what extent is the association between families' economic background and children's achievement explained by children's intelligence, personality, and motivation, those factors that we know contribute to better achievement. There have been studies before on the question whether intelligence is a mediator between family socioeconomic background and children's achievement, and those studies showed that a part of the association can be explained by intelligence as a mediator. And the open questions for the talk today are whether there are other variables that contribute to the association, whether they contribute incrementally over and beyond intelligence, and whether the association can completely be explained by those variables. So we have done two studies on this. All rely on a sample of 11th graders And in Germany, those 11th graders are stratified into a school that prepares them for university. It's an academic track school, and about 40% of all students go to these schools. So we have range restriction in the sample, which results in probably lower bound estimates. So we consider our results to be lower bound estimates of the results for the whole population. Socio-economic background in the first study was measured by children indicating the highest education of their parents, and children's achievement was measured by grade point average. As potential mediators, we considered intelligence and personality in terms of the big five. And as you can see here, the single order correlation between parental education and children's achievement was the same as in the early meta-analysis, and this is a single order correlation. If you look at the latent correlation, it's somewhat higher, 0.38, and this is what we want to reduce when introducing the mediator in the structural equation. We want to reduce 0.38. So just to show you the structural equation model with one mediator that we computed here, and we checked for the mediator effects by looking at the significance of the path, but also by checking for whether the mediator effect was significantly different from 0. Bless you. Introducing one mediator, which was intelligence, reduced the association between parental education and children's achievement to 0.28. That was a partial mediation. What about personality? Among the 5 personality traits, only openness functioned as a significant mediator, reducing the association to 0.29. And none of the other personality traits had a mediation effect. Conscientiousness was associated with children's achievement, but was not significantly associated with parental education. So this is the explanation why conscientiousness was not a mediator. If we introduce 2 mediators at a time, as you see here, intelligence and openness both contributed significantly, and the association was reduced to 0.23. So still there was an association between parental education and children's achievement that needs to be explained. I think I skipped the summary and just go to the next study, because in the next step we looked for another kind of mediator that would explain the rest of the variance there still was, and motivation is a variable which we often find to explain children's achievement quite nicely, so we looked at motivation, and we looked at specific subjects. The STEM, the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics subjects are specifically interesting because we often find that associations are very strong there. And so we did this in this second study. We used a more elaborate measure of SES here. And SES was separately assessed for mothers and fathers, and moreover the second study has a longitudinal approach, so several new characteristics here. Again, we used a sample of 11th graders, and family socio-economic background was indicated by economic, social, and cultural status, again indicated by the children and children's achievement. This time this is a manifest indicator because it's just one grade in math, in physics, and in chemistry. Okay, this does not look so nice, but intelligence again was measured by the German Intelligenzstrukturtest, and motivation, I have to explain what motivation is because all kind of things are called motivation. We use the expectancy value approach by Wickfield and Eccles, and we had 2 variables. The one is ability self-concept, which is domain-specific for math, for physics, for chemistry. And we have values. And a value, for example, is I like doing math. I find it important to do math. I find it useful to know a lot about math. So this motivation in terms of values. Again, we have these mediation models, this time with a manifest criterion variable. We have 4 mediators this time, although you could debate whether you would call achievement at T1 a mediator, but it is something that we introduce and look at the results when we control for achievement at T1 in this study. We have 3 subjects here, and we have 2 models for SES, for mothers and for fathers. So results become quite difficult to show, and I decided to, summarize them very strongly. If we have one mediator and we look at fathers SES, we find that all of the 4 potential mediators were significantly were significant mediators for all of the 3 STEM subjects. The picture is completely different if we look at mothers SES, because mothers SES was only in chemistry found to have mediational models. Only in chemistry, achievement at the first measurement occasion, intelligence, ability, self-concept, but not values, were significant mediators. So that means that no significant mediators were found in math and in physics if we look at mothers SES. If we take 2 mediators into consideration, for fathers we find that both ability, self-concept, and values, intrinsic values is just a part of it, values in general, functioned as mediators over and beyond intelligence in all 3 subjects. And with mothers SES, only in chemistry, ability, self-concept, but not values functioned as a mediator. In all models, the association between SES and children's achievement was fully explained when introducing intelligence and motivation as mediators. I think I have an example here. If you look, we have fathers SES here and predict physics grades at the second measurement occasion. We include intelligence and ability self-concept as mediators. The association is completely reduced to 0. So this is very interesting. With the 2 mediators, we can explain all of the association. Then we have the models with 3 mediators, or with controlling achievement at the first measurement occasion. For mothers SES, after introducing achievement at T1, only intelligence but no motivational variable functions as mediator in chemistry. And for fathers, the picture is very messy. So let me show you one example with 3 mediators here. We find again that the association between fathers SES and math grade is completely explained by the 3 mediators. Intelligence no longer functions as a mediator because all the variance is captured in the math grade at the first measurement occasion, but ability self-concept still contributes to explain math grade at the second measurement occasion. So this, I think, is very interesting to see how intelligence reacts to introducing achievement at T1. The same is true for the values. If you introduce intelligence and math grade at T1, intelligence no longer is a mediator, but values still are, and again the association is reduced to 0. So the whole pictures for, if you take fathers SES, is like this. It's a little bit hard to interpret, so I just show you the whole picture here. To summarize study 2, results differ markedly between considering mothers and fathers SES. father's SES is more predictive of children's achievement in STEM subjects, and intelligence and motivation significantly mediated the association between fathers but not mothers' SES and children's achievement. Intelligence and motivation each contributed mediation effects when introduced at the same time, and the association between fathers' SES and children's achievement was fully explained by intelligence and motivation. This might be the most interesting result here. So for the general discussion, if we find that the association between family socio-economic background and children's achievement is completely explained by characteristics that we know really contribute to better achievement, we have to question the assumption that we are looking at a sign of unequal opportunities when we are looking at this association. So the notion that this association goes back to families having more money, they can buy children everything they want, might not be as important. It might, of course, play a role. I wouldn't say that it's all very justly distributed here, but we find here that we might have another explanation, and that we should have a closer look at how to interpret what equal opportunities are and what signs for unequal opportunities are. So thank you for your attention.